Season 6 keeps dropping hints that nothing is as simple as it looks. And Vampigami is one of the clearest episodes showing how dangerously the story is shifting. What starts as a normal Akuma attack slowly becomes a reveal of new threats, Rei's group evolving into intentional manipulators, Cerise acting smarter, and Marinette and Adrien being pushed toward emotional pressure. This episode quietly covers everything. So let's go deeper and break down the hidden messages, the foreshadowing, and the important threads in Vampigami. 1. The new social villains of Season 6. The episode Vampigami finally reveals something Season 6 has been hinting at since Episode 1. Rei and his group are beyond being background bullies. They are slowly becoming one of the most dangerous, non-magical forces in the entire season. Until now, they manipulated Kim into hurting Ondine emotionally, triggering her akumatization. They purposely set a perfect ambiance to cause strain in Rose and Juleka's relationship. At first, this felt like teenage drama exaggerated for the story, but Vampigami changes everything. The moment Ladybug and Cat Noir save the day and Rei's group stands there watching the crowd, something shifts. Their attention isn't on the victims they previously manipulated. Their eyes are locked on Marinette and Adrien, and that single moment is a warning. Rei and his group are not picking random targets anymore. They are choosing the most influencing people and pushing exactly where it hurts the worst. Rei's group is observant enough to see that Marinette and Adrien are perfect goal for them. They watch how Marinette reacts when she's overwhelmed. They watch how Adrien protects people emotionally, almost to the point of ignoring his own needs. What makes this even more unnerving is how the show frames them. In earlier episodes, they always stood far away, watching from a distance without interacting directly. But in Vampigami, the camera lingers on their faces long enough to make it clear. These four are planning something bigger. They know Marinette and Adrien are the most beloved, most visible couple in the school. They know Marinette has anxious tendencies, and Adrien is deeply sensitive to emotional pressure. And Season 6 loves using emotional fragility as a feature for akumatizations. If Rei's group continues down this path, they might accidentally or intentionally trigger the biggest emotional meltdown the series has ever seen. And the truth is, the writers wouldn't include that final shot of them watching Adrienette unless it meant something. In my opinion, Season 6 is setting up a confrontation where Marinette and Adrien's relationship will be the center of attention, but it is because someone wants to break them apart. And Rei's group is exactly the kind of slow-burning human threat that could trigger chaos without needing a single Akuma.
Non, c'est pas la peine. Cette bonne action est ma récompense. Ce sera notre petit secret.
2. Cerise and Tomoe. Cerise's relationship with Tomoe continues to grow more suspicious in Vampigami, and this episode adds even more fuel to the theory that Cerise is actually Tomoe's daughter. The way Cerise speaks to Tomoe is too familiar, too confident, and too comfortable for a simple alliance. She doesn't treat Tomoe like a superior or even an equal. She talks to her like someone who grew up around her, like someone who knows exactly how to push her limits and exactly how to argue with her without fear. Tomoe's calm dismissals feel oddly parent-like too. She isn't angry when Cerise appears near her or when she becomes overly emotional. She treats her with the same controlled, restrained tone she uses with Kagami. The more episodes we see, the more it becomes clear that Cerise is beyond a random girl who discovered secrets. She behaves like someone raised in the world of senti technology, someone who's familiar with amok objects, emotional triggers, manipulation tactics, and the psychology of obedience. Back in Season 5, she revealed that she knew Gabriel was Monarch long before anyone else. How would she know that unless she grew up in circles where people talk about Gabriel not just as a fashion icon, but as a political and technological partner? Her knowledge of the Miraculous system is too detailed, too structured, and too personal. And in Vampigami, this theory becomes stronger when Tomoe insists that Marinette is not Ladybug, while Cerise's reaction is almost offended, almost like someone whose worldview was challenged by a parent they're desperately trying to impress. These are very similar to Kagami's emotional patterns, except Kagami uses discipline to stay balanced, while Cerise uses manipulation to stay in control. If Cerise really is Tomoe's daughter, it explains her obsession with Ladybug, her hatred towards moral limits, her intelligence, her access to advanced tools, and her need to get validation from someone who operates in the background of the Miraculous universe.
C'est forcément elle, il n'y a pas d'autre explication logique.
3. Cerise's true target. One of the most important revelations in Vampigami is Cerise's motivation. This is something Gabriel never understood. He chased Ladybug, but he never realized that Marinette Dupanchung was the emotional core of everything he wanted to destroy. Cerise, however, sees the connection immediately. She picks up on Marinette's patterns, the sudden disappearances, the emotional overwhelm, the leadership qualities, the confidence switch that happens right before a transformation. She's already closer to revealing Ladybug's identity than Gabriel ever was. What's terrifying is Cerise's strategy. She tries to destroy her psychologically. Cerise repeatedly instructs akumatized victims to use anti-kuma specifically on Cat Noir because she wants Ladybug to lose her strongest emotional anchor. Ladybug can defeat villains alone, but emotionally she depends on Cat Noir when her leadership reaches its breaking point. Cerise sees this and plans accordingly. In Vampigami, when Cerise hides among the civilians transformed by Prem's powers, she watches Cat Noir closely, waiting for the perfect moment to activate her anti-kuma. This isn't coincidence. It's the third, fourth, maybe even fifth time she's tried the exact same strategy. She believes Cat Noir is the easier target, and Ladybug is the true threat. Gabriel underestimated Cat Noir, Cerise underestimates no one. But ironically, her overconfidence becomes her weakness. The fact that Cerise fights directly on the battlefield shows how far she's willing to go. She's not just a background manipulator anymore, she wants to witness Ladybug's downfall with her own eyes. And she wants to be the one who causes it. But this might be her undoing. Every time she gets close to Marinette, she exposes another part of herself. Every time she hides among civilians, she risks being recognized or noticed by Marinette, who already has small moments of looking in her direction suspiciously.
Il essaye de nous vaincre en découvrant nos véritables identités.
4. Marinette and Adrien's foreshadowed breaking point. One moment in Vampigami stands out as the foreshadowing of the entire episode, the scene where Adrien gently confronts Marinette about her fear of horror movies. On the surface, it looks like a simple romantic misunderstanding. Marinette hides her fear to spend time with Adrien, and Adrien wishes she had been honest. But the scene is far more layered than that. Adrien's disappointment seems to be deep. He expresses sadness that she couldn't trust him even with something small, something harmless, something personal. This scene is a huge foreshadowing. The show is preparing us emotionally for what will happen when Adrien eventually learns the truth about his father and the truth that Marinette or Ladybug already knows. Adrien has huge emotional expectations when it comes to honesty. That's part of his childhood trauma. Gabriel never let him express himself. Gabriel lied to him his whole life. Gabriel made him question his own memories and emotions. So now, when the one person he trusts most, Marinette or Ladybug, keeps a secret from him, even unintentionally, it hits him much harder than she realizes. The entire emotional tension of Season 6 is building toward the moment Adrien learns that Ladybug kept Monarch's identity a secret. If he's this upset about a movie, how will he handle a secret that directly concerns the person he lost, the father he thinks was gone as a hero? This is a carefully planted emotional seed. The writers want us to look at this small moment and think, if Adrien is already struggling with trust here, what's going to happen when the truth comes out?
En fait, pas la peine de m'attraper les épaules pendant le film, hein? Ça me fera pas peur.
5. Rose's illness. The reveal of Rose's cancer in this episode clarifies some of the questions in our mind. Seeing her bald at the beginning of the episode is one of the most quietly heartbreaking moments of the season. The show didn't dramatize it, they didn't exaggerate it. They simply showed Rose as she is, still sweet, still smiling, still full of positivity, even while going through an incredibly difficult treatment. This also explains why her Miraculous, the pig Miraculous, suits her so perfectly. Rose embodies hope, resilience, and emotional strength. She doesn't pretend she's not afraid, but she chooses to stay positive despite it. And now, we understand exactly why Juleka reacted so intensely back in Season 4. Her fear wasn't irrational. She was terrified of losing her. This reveal brings new meaning to their entire relationship. Rose having cancer doesn't make her weak. Instead, it makes her one of the strongest characters in the series.
She was sick when she was a little girl.
6. Juleka punching Cerise. One of the most surprising moments, which many fans didn't catch, is Juleka punching Cerise. It happens fast. Cerise is disguised among civilians, trying to activate Anti-Kuma on Cat Noir, and Purple Tigress suddenly punches her in the face, stopping the attack instantly. For the first time, a young hero directly interrupts the main villain of the season without Ladybug or Cat Noir being involved. It shows two things. First, Cerise is becoming more reckless and physically inserting herself into battles. Second, the younger heroes are becoming stronger and more confident. Juleka stepping in this way foreshadows the idea that the Miraculous team will not break as easily as Cerise expects. She can manipulate people, she can spy, she can plan, but she is not untouchable. And it begs the question, will Cerise begin joining battles more often in Season 6 from now on? Vampigami proves that Season 6's biggest threats are emotional. This episode quietly sets up the storm that's coming. So, now tell me, do you think Cerise is getting closer to exposing Marinette? Will Ray's group try to break Adrienette? And how do you think Adrien will react once the truth about Gabriel comes out? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Miraculous analysis.